I heard myself say, "You don't live here anymore." And my voice sounded like it belonged to someone else. She didn't even flinch, just tilted her head like I was being dramatic, like I'd forgotten my place. Then she smiled, this tiny, tired smile, and asked if I was finally done performing. I remember thinking, I'm not angry enough. That was the scary part, because the thing I did next wasn't a fight or a plea or a breakdown. It was a choice I can't unmake. And I still don't know which of us it punished more. The first time I noticed it, I was standing in the hallway with one sock on, holding my jacket like I'd forgotten how jackets work. Not because of anything she hadn't said anything yet, but because the air around her felt edited, like she'd rehearsed being casual. And I caught myself doing that pathetic inventory thing. Her tone, her shoulders, the way she didn't meet my eyes for a beat too long. I hated that I noticed. I hated more that it made sense. We weren't some long married couple on autopilot. 4 years. Long enough to build habits, not long enough to call them fate. And lately, every habit had a little crack in it. Dinner timed wrong. The TV paused exactly when I walked in. Her laugh arriving late, like it had to travel. I told myself it was stress, work, life, me. I even apologized in my head for being suspicious, like suspicion was a betrayal I was committing first. Then, sudden, her keys clattered into the bowl too hard, and she jumped like the sound accused her. She looked at me and snapped about me, staring, like I had done something to her. That turn, the flip. In 1 second, I went from husband to problem, and I remember thinking, insanely clearly, if I ask the wrong question, she's already got the answer ready. I didn't go looking for proof. That's the part people don't believe, but it matters to me. I was still pretending this was a phase, a dip, something you ride out if you don't panic. I was folding laundry, hers, and thinking about how weird it felt that I could recognize which socks were outside socks now. That's when it hit me. I was adjusting to her absence while she was still in the room. The first real crack wasn't a message, it was timing. She started arriving already defensive, like she'd been arguing all day, and I was just the last stop. I'd ask something neutral, how was traffic? And she'd answer sharp, already wounded, then apologize too fast, then accuse me of tracking her moods. That word, tracking, like I was hunting. One night, sudden, stupid, I picked up her coat to move it off the chair, and something slid out. Not dramatic, not incriminating on its own. A receipt, folded small from a place she told me she hated. I remember laughing out loud, actually. A little bark of a laugh. Because receipts don't mean affairs. They mean lunches, or lies, or nothing. I asked her about it right away. Not accusing, curious. And she rolled her eyes so hard it felt rehearsed. Told me I was exhausting. Told me I was inventing problems because I needed drama. Then, this was the turn, she said casually that she'd stopped telling me things because I couldn't be trusted not to twist them. That's when I felt it. Not certainty, not rage. Something colder, like a door clicking shut somewhere behind my ribs. The confrontation didn't happen the way people imagine. No big reveal, no folder of evidence. It happened because I asked one more normal question than I was allowed to ask. I said her name, just her name, and she sighed like I'd ruined her evening by existing. That sigh did more damage than yelling would have. I told her I felt shut out. Even saying that felt embarrassing, like I was confessing weakness instead of pointing at a problem. She laughed, not loud, sharp, said I was being intense again, said nothing was wrong, but somehow everything was my fault for noticing patterns. Then she pivoted, sudden, asked why I was so obsessed lately, what I was hiding. That spin was impressive. I almost admired it. I brought up the receipt, immediately regretted it. Her face hardened, then softened into this patient, condescending calm. She explained it like she was teaching a slow child. She'd met a friend. I knew the friend. I didn't actually, but she said the name confidently, like confidence itself was evidence. When I hesitated, she snapped that I never trust her, that my insecurity was rotting the marriage. Then the interruption. Her phone rang from the other room. She froze just for half a second. Enough. She didn't answer it. Said it was spam. I didn't ask who it was. I didn't need to, because the lie wasn't even about the call. It was about how quickly she decided I wasn't allowed to wonder. I felt stupid, angry, relieved, all at once, and I hated myself for still wanting her explanation to be true. After that, everything inside me went loud and quiet at the same time, like a room where someone's left a TV on mute. I walked around for days, maybe weeks, I don't know, carrying this pressure behind my eyes, replaying moments that suddenly rearranged themselves. Her sudden kindness after snapping at me, the way she touched my arm right when I was pulling away. Damage control, I realized, and realizing that hurt more than the idea of sex ever could. I kept swinging between anger and self-blame so fast it made me dizzy. One minute I was thinking, she's lying to my face, she thinks I'm stupid. The next I was bargaining with myself. Maybe I'm paranoid. Maybe I pushed her into secrecy. Maybe this is what men like me do. Notice too late, react too much. I even apologized to her again for the tension. She accepted it instantly. Too instantly. That was a punch I didn't expect. Then, sudden, she accused me of emotionally abandoning her. Out of nowhere. Said she'd felt alone for months. Said she'd tried to talk to me, but I was checked out. It was so clean, so prepared, that I almost forgot my own memories. Almost. I remember sitting there nodding, hating myself for nodding, feeling like I was agreeing to a version of events where my pain was just bad timing. At night, I'd lie awake next to her, listening to her breathe, wondering when love turns into evidence you're afraid to examine. The shock wasn't that she might be cheating. It was how fast I started doubting my right to be hurt at all. The decision didn't arrive like a decision. It slipped in sideways, pretending to be exhaustion. I remember standing in the kitchen, staring at a mug I hadn't finished, realizing I was timing my words like a bomb tech. That's when it hit me, sudden and ugly. I wasn't choosing peace, I was negotiating my own silence. I asked her finally. Not gently, not smart, just asked. And she didn't deny it the way people deny false things. She scoffed, said I was obsessed, that I'd built a whole fantasy because I was bored with myself. Then she shifted, said even if something had happened, which it hadn't, it wouldn't mean what I thought. That line, even if, it cracked something open. Because innocent people don't argue hypotheticals. She turned it on me fast. Said I was controlling. Said my suspicion made her feel unsafe. I remember thinking, unsafe from what exactly? From consequences? From honesty? But I didn't say it. I just watched her rewrite the story in real time, casting herself as the one barely holding on. The interruption came when she said, casually, that maybe we needed space, like it was her idea, her mercy. And that's when I felt it settle. Not rage, clarity, thin, sharp clarity. I told her I wasn't fighting for a version of us that required me to disappear. My voice shook. I hated that. But I meant it. I didn't ask her to stay. I didn't ask her to leave. I just stopped arguing, and the room felt different immediately, like she'd lost something she assumed was permanent. I keep replaying the moment after the arguing stopped. Not the words, we'd burned through those, but the silence. She looked confused, almost offended, like I'd broken an unspoken contract by not chasing her version of events. She waited for me to correct myself. I didn't. That was new. That scared her more than yelling ever did. She said I was being cold, then said I'd always been cold, then, sudden again, asked if I was really willing to throw everything away over a feeling. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I realized how small she needed my hurt to be. A feeling, not nights of doubt, not the constant recalculating of reality, Just a mood I should have managed better. I don't have a clean ending. We're in different rooms now, still under the same roof, moving around each other like strangers who know too much. Some days I miss her, or the idea of her. Other days I feel this strange relief, like I can breathe without permission. Then I hate myself for that too. If you're listening to this, hoping for advice, I don't have anything neat. Just this. Pay attention to how often you're asked to doubt yourself in the name of love. Pay attention to who benefits from your confusion. And if you ever catch yourself shrinking just to keep the peace, stop. Even if you don't know what comes next. Especially then.